In the last 15 years, I have ridden through some of the most challenging and remote areas in the world, regions where the gas stations are usually hundreds of kilometers apart or they don't exist at all. And before many of those trips, the same question always came up. Do I need a bigger petrol tank? Well, it is true that oversized tanks promise security, but on real adventures, the answer isn't as simple as most riders think. I know that many won't like what I'm about to say in this video, but I'm gonna do it anyway, especially those who already invested time and money in oversized tanks. Because as I told you many times, expectations does not always match the reality. To support my words, let me give you a few examples. As I told you at the beginning, I had been to many different places around the world where the gas stations were very rare if they existed at all. In Central Asia, for example, it was normal to buy petrol from an old truck stored in the glass jars. In Mongolia, this wild and open country, towns were hundreds of kilometers apart. In northern India, there is a region called Ladakh. It is one of the most uninhabited places in the world because of the high altitude. I also have been in the Australian Outback, a land covered by thousands of miles of red soil, minimal infrastructure and almost nothing around. I crossed the whole of Turkey, including many less populated and less popular areas like Diyarbakir and the southeast near the border with Iraq and Syria. I rode the entire road of bones from Yakutsk to Magadan and back, more than 4,000 kilometers with nothing more than a few small towns and endless wilderness. I crossed also the whole of South America, including regions like Trans-Amazonica, the largest equatorial jungle in the world. It is a 2,005 kilometers dirt road and the only connection between West and East Brazil. I rode the entire continent from north to south, covering more than 30,000 kilometers in 9 different countries, including Venezuela, where none of the gas stations were working at all. The biggest adventure there was finding gas every single day. After all of this, the conclusions that I have made are probably not what you expect. In almost every place around the world, you can find petrol, no matter how wild, unfriendly or isolated it looks. It might require a different and more flexible approach, but the result is almost always positive. In the last few years, I have also noticed that the manufacturers have started producing motorcycles with very small petrol tanks. For example, Tenere 700, only 16 liters, Aprilia Touareg, 18 liters, Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, 17 liters, CF Moto MT 450, 17.5 liters, KTM 390, 14 liters, Honda Africa Twin 1100, 18.5 liters, Honda CRF 300 Rally 12.8 liters, AGP PR7 17 liters and many more. At the same time, many brands like Safari, Acerbis and others offer oversized tanks, 24, 26, 28, 30, even 45 liters. The prices are usually between $300 and $500, but some of them are ridiculous. For example, a 45-liter tank for the Tenere 700 costs around $3,500. So why do manufacturers reduce the petrol tank capacity while at the same time the aftermarket continues producing large petrol tank solutions? Let's look at both options. The manufacturer's idea is clear. They optimize for balance. There is a constant weight battle, especially in the adventure segment. Customers want a better look, more power and more features, but these usually come with added weight. The solution they offer is simple. Instead of the standard petrol tanks that we used to have 20 to 23 liters, now we have 16 to 18, maximum 19 liters. And this automatically removes around 5 kilograms from the total weight and also frees a little bit more space around the engine area. Another also very important factor they try to address is the high center of gravity on most of these models. By reducing the total weight, they solve part of this problem as well. Aftermarket companies base their marketing ideas on fear and uncertainties. Fear of running out of petrol, fear of poor planning, fear of uncertainty, fear of being unprepared. They also sell dreams. If you have this, you can go there or there. You can conquer the whole world. You can become a real adventurer, and many more slogans like this. With this, I'm not saying that oversized tanks are bad in general. No, absolutely not. They have their purpose. Big tanks solve one type of problem, but most riders misunderstand their real limitations. The limitation is rarely the tank itself. It is usually planning, fuel management and discipline. This is exactly what I discuss in my online course Adventure Riding Without Illusions. It is not about gear or motorcycle setups. It's about making the right decisions under real conditions. You can find link in the description below. Back to the video title question. Are they necessary or a waste of money? They might be necessary if you travel in extremely remote areas, like the middle of Australian Outback, where you will basically need a petrol for around 600 kilometers. If you're not very good at planning, if you want peace of mind, if you're not flexible with your solutions, if you want to build a bike that can cover 500 to 600 kilometers without refueling. In Central Asia, the longest section without a gas station was 450 kilometers, and they are already building 2 new ones on that road, and this was in 2011. In Mongolia, the largest distance between gas stations was around 220 kilometers, about 470 kilometers in Ladakh, India, and roughly the same on the Road of Bones. In South America, except for Venezuela and a small section in Chile, the rest was fine. Keep in mind that in South America, the motorcycles we had there had only 13.5 liters in their tanks. As I told you, in all of these conditions, I was able to find a simple solution that usually costs less than $10. Its name is a petrol can. There are many affordable solutions nowadays, some of them even foldable and taking up almost no space in your luggage. Instead of buying these oversized petrol tanks and carrying it for thousands of kilometers without even need it, from the moment that it's really required, you can buy a simple petrol can for $10, use it and throw it away when you finish that section. I have heard many people saying that it is better to have it, I don't need to fill it completely, I can keep only half of the weight in and fill it up when I need it. But guys, this when I need it will be very rare. But all the time you're gonna have this big plastic tank that stay on the top of your motorcycle. Even if the weight distribution is better, it is still an additional weight that you don't really need. Of course, in the end, it all comes down to a personal preference, not a real necessity. If you like it and you can afford it, why not? Oversized tanks are not wrong. They're just not always necessary. The real question is not how many liters you carry, but how well you prepared for your next trip. Check the links below and see you in the next video. Ciao!